Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. Welcome to English grade 8 video lecture series. I'm your instructor Zia Ahmed. Students, today we are going to talk about reading competency of our unit 11 called Overpopulation Dilemma. I hope that you have read the lesson and you have understood the theme and its overview in our introductory lecture. Today we are going to focus on reading comprehension, and our SLO is related to this competency. We have the learning outcome or the SLO that says analyze larger paragraphs with abstract concepts to identify sentences that support the main idea through number 1, evidence, through cause and effect, and through comparison and contrast. So, students, when we are talking about analyzing a text, we are focusing on different aspects of the text and the information provided. We analyze with our critical thinking and complete focus. So, when we are analyzing larger paragraphs, articles, essays, we need to understand the concept that is described in the text and also the main idea of the text, and we are going to explain the sentences, identify them that are supporting the main ideas, and we can do it with evidence, cause and effect, and comparison and contrast. So we can find all these things, and in order to answer in a very good way with logic, reasoning, and reference, we need to point out evidence to support our answers. We can also find cause and effect relationship and also comparison and contrast that we find in the text according to the topic or according to the information that is provided. So students, let's move on. Here is our vertical linkage. This links your SLO with the previous grade's SLO of the same level. So now let's talk about and let's dive into our brainstorming session. So students, let me ask you, how do you find the main idea of a text? You know what a main idea is? It is the central point, the main focus, the central idea through on which the whole text is based upon, and it is the most important thing in the whole text. So when you are reading a paragraph, what clues or hints do you look for to figure out which sentences help explain the main idea? These are our supporting details. Think about whether the sentences give evidence, explain cause and effect, or show a comparison or even a contrast. So students, we are aware that how a paragraph is structured. We have a topic sentence, supporting details, and at the end, concluding sentence or conclusion, concluding remark. So the supporting details are supporting your main idea. For example, in the text that we have in the book, we are talking about overpopulation dilemma. It means that the main idea is that overpopulation is dangerous to our lives and to our Mother Earth. Now, let's talk about how do you find the main idea of any text. Before you can see the text of the lesson. I hope that you have opened your books. Now, this is the lesson according to the theme and sub-theme that we have on overpopulation. So first, before diving into the text of the lesson, students, think about this pre-reading question. What do you understand by the term overpopulation? We know that it is based upon two words, over and population. It means extra population, something that is over, beyond the limit that the earth can hold. So let me read the first one for you because the topic sentence include the main idea. Picture a world that's bustling with activity where there are so many people that it's becoming crowded. So it means that we are talking about the earth, the planet being overcrowded because there are so many people and it becomes crowded. So, and what do we understand by a crowd? A crowd is always irregular, unusual, and creates problem and disturbance. So, now all these remaining sentences, dear students, that you have to read by yourself from the book, go through that and understand the whole concept with details. While you are reading the text, do this and answer this while reading question. What is the main concern when we talk about overpopulation? So if you read the text, the main concern is the impact of population growth on health and nutrition. On a national level, it is a significant concern or a important concern. So, now students, if you have noticed that there are so many numbers, figures, facts, and data presented in the text. Now, these things are very important if you want to provide evidence with your answer. So, highlight all these points like 8 billion from 5 billion in 1987. Now the population has increased to 8 billion. And the World Population Day was introduced in 1989 to spread awareness, and it will increase the population on the year 2050. It will be increased by 2 billion more people. Now, these are important things that we need to underline to present our evidence and reference. Now, in the next page, you have noticed that another interesting information is given that the population of 27 countries or areas have been shrinking by 1% or more since 2010. So these 27 countries are reducing their population by 1%. A 2018 study reveals that India, Nigeria, Pakistan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Indonesia, Egypt, and the United States will collectively comprise half of the world's population by 2050. So these countries are having half of the population of the whole world, approximately 4 billion. Now, in poor nations, life expectancy is generally shorter. Global life expectancy is expected to rise from 72.6 years to 77.1 years. It means that people will live to 77.1 years. Overcrowding and overpopulation pose challenges for many of these countries. So when people are having higher age expectancies and living expectancies, then the earth will be overpopulated because the birth rate is also including in it. So this is also a very good evidence that we can provide. So does this one with the study of 2018. Now, population growth has a significant impact on health and nutrition in Pakistan. So if you pose concern about Pakistan due to overpopulation, then health and nutrition are number one. Now, students, you can find these different headings that are talking about different issues posed due to overpopulation. While you're reading it, think about what are some of the challenges posed by overpopulation in poorer nations. Now, we know that the number one challenge is health. There are no good healthcare services. There is an inadequate health system, and there are nutritional challenges, lack of food and resources, and drinkable water. So these are the challenges. Now, read the passage that are highlighting the challenges by overpopulation in the poor countries. Students, here the last page, you have to read it by yourself now, and after reading the whole text, you can answer the post-reading question that what steps can individual take to adopt a more sustainable lifestyle considering overpopulation. What should an individual like me, like myself, like you and others should do individually to eradicate this problem of overpopulation? Think about it, discuss with your fellows, talk about it with your teacher or instructor, and you can also do your research through the internet by reading different books and magazines and articles to come up with your researched answer. Now students, after going through the text, we analyzed, we looked for evidences, facts, figures and numbers so that we can provide them in our answer. So after reading this, we can answer the question number 3, that how does the current population nearing 8 billion strain the environment? Now this is a very comprehensive and analytical kind of question that you need to answer. Go through the paragraph, go through the different paragraphs of the text and find out the information provided based on this question. Now after this, there is a separated question of an analytical sort that compare the impact of overpopulation on health and nutrition in different regions of the world. For example, the underdeveloped countries, the poorer nations are having lack of good health, services and nutrition, even in Pakistan. So, find your evidence, your supporting reasons from the text. Also, share your experience and observations and write a very good answer. Now, after this, we have another classroom activity that you have to read the text of the lesson, discuss the impact of overpopulation on health and nutrition. Identify the sentences that provide evidence to support the main idea that population growth affects health and nutrition. How does this evidence strengthen the argument? So students, if we go back and look for the text that talks about nutrition, we can write our answer from this paragraph, and also the health and nutrition concern, the impact, this line is also very much important, and you can find other challenges, resources, you can find healthcare and all these things. Now, by reading these specific parts of the text and providing the evidence, you can answer this question. And as we talked about it, when the world's population is going to be increased by the year 2050, the challenges of health and nutrition will rise more, and there will be problems. People will have shorter lifespans and there will be so many different problems. Now think about all these issues regarding health and nutrition, water, good food, etc., and then talk about it in the answer. You can watch this simulation link for analyzing the text in a very interesting way. You can watch that, and after this, for your homework, you are supposed to solve the remaining reading comprehension questions that are given over here. Follow the strategies, identify the simple questions with higher order thinking questions so you can answer them accordingly. Your worksheet is attached where you have to read some passages and answer some analytical questions with evidence. Here are the resources provided for your help. You have your worksheet, presentation, a lesson plan, and last but not the least, a skill sheet. All these are added. So at the end, I hope students that now you can analyze any kind of text for the main idea. You can look for the supporting details, and you can also highlight and annotate the important information to refer to in your answers. This is all about today's lecture, dear students. I hope that you enjoy the main lesson, learn a lot and read more. Till then, Allah Hafiz.